Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for May 15th, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 135. I am Merwat, and I run ohmtown.com, and along with Sentient AI, who is not here today, this is a Time Machine episode, and they didn't have time. We're going to talk about 10 articles, and today they are Epic Resubmission a Fortnite Ago, Disneyland 70th, Heart Container in San Francisco. Hey, maybe I can be an attorney after all. Live events' biggest industry problem. What a sob story. Money buys ethics and morals, apparently. Carplay Ultra on the Aston Martin. Sorry, pores. And always tired might be a mini stroke. And Robotaxis from Waymo get recalled. That and maybe some sarcastic nonsense from Mayor Watt. That's me. I run ohmtown, and you should go over and sign up. All right, everybody, let's get into this. It is a Time Machine episode. You're looking at ohmtown.com, and it gets updated all the time. So go over and sign up, and you'll get a sixth icon right there with some more functionality in it. But until then, you get 6 icons, 50 channels, all kinds of news, no noise. Everything gets aggregated into these 6 buckets and then 50 buckets inside those buckets. It's a turducken bucket. Let's move on. First article is over in Smack Talk. Epic resubmits Fortnite to the App Store for review as its initial request seemingly was ignored. Yes, Epic Games once again submitted Fortnite to the US App Store for review after Apple seemingly ignored its previous submission. It's resubmitted Fortnite. They say this multiple times in this. Marco Zivkovic over at appleinsider.com. Might be Zivkovic. I'm not sure how they pronounce their last name. But anyway, Marco. Cool name. On May 9th, after announcing its intentions a few days prior, Epic Games tried to get Fortnite back on the App Store by submitting the game for review. While most applications typically get reviewed within 24 hours, not the case with Fortnite. Instead, there were no developments in regards. 120 hours, 5 days, nothing went down. Anyway, given that its request went unanswered for such a long time, Epic understandably decided to cancel its initial request for a review, and Fortnite leaker Shima revealed that Epic has resubmitted a second review request with the company's CEO Tim Sweeney after confirming the details himself, according to Mac Rumors notes. Sweeney explained the Fortnite is set to review new content update across all platforms by May 16th. So there you go. The whole ordeal of Epic v. Apple saga began in 2020 when Epic attempted to bypass Apple's in-app purchase system and offer direct links to external purchase methods with Fortnite. I always find that really funny. I mean, I don't know. If you're going to use somebody else's platform, you basically pay for the squeeze, right? I mean, that's the juice that they get. You get 70%, they get 30%. In 2021, an anti-steering injunction forced Apple to enable links to external purchase options in the United States. So you can benefit from all of the marketing and the engine and everything that Apple has put into it, but they don't get anything, right? They get to benefit from everything, the ecosystem that they've built. Anyway, very frustrating. I think that they should have to pay. Not Apple. I'm talking about Epic. So the next article is over in Wanted. Disneyland's 70th anniversary is celebrating an icon you might not have ever heard of. Duffy is finally back in California after 15 years away. Sabina Graves over at Gizmodo.com put this article together. International Disney park sensation Duffy has made a comeback to Disneyland for the 70th anniversary celebration. The bear took off at Tokyo Disney before expanding to the rest of the overseas parks, making it a must-have collectible alongside his friends. However, Duffy and his friends Shelley May are making a special debut during the Celebrate Happy Cavalcade at the Disneyland Resort, where they'll be kicking off the Disney character mini parade. And IO9 was there. Gizmodo.com, though, is where this article is from. So you'll be able to get to this article via the show notes over in YouTube once I post it all over there. And in the podcast, they'll be in there too. Okay, the next article is over in Wanted. I left my heart container in Nintendo's San Francisco store. I'm not quite sure what this is all about. Anyway, Nintendo's first West Coast store is a warp pipe to whimsy and delightful gamer decor. Faith Cheehill over at cnet.com put this article together. They say, I'm in a group of adults slowly descending a staircase in a brightly lit white store, small gasps of joy escaping our mouths as walls of smiling squid toys come into view. Think you guys are ready to shop? The reply echoes the words of former Nintendo Chief Operating Officer Reggie Fils-Aimé, where he tested the Wii board at E3 2007. The person says, my body is ready. Anyway, inside the store, you'll see a giant Mario statue that greets all of the guests. Set in the intersection of Geary and Powell in San Francisco's Union Square neighborhood, the first thing you notice is the parade of Nintendo characters lining the store's windows, with Mario leading the congregation to the main doors. Then you'll find walls of merchandise exclusive to Nintendo San Francisco store, including souvenirs with the parade motif. Bunch of other stuff. Customers can customize their own Nintendo Switch OLED system with their choice of colorful Joy-Cons, wrist strap attachments, and a black or white docking station. Cozy merch. Forever, it says a yellow Pikmin figurine. That looks like it might be fun to watch or to get, so you can sit there and have it sitting on your desk. That'd be pretty cool. Animal Crossing Corner featured a slew of home goods, such as an adorable cottagecore coffee grinder branded The Roost. It's that one right there. So with those, you put coffee beans in here and you grind it up and it ends up in a little cup underneath. It's pretty cool. A wallet from the Legend of Zelda Fairy Collection features iridescent embellishments. I've always wanted one. Not really. So why San Francisco? Why now? Well, before 2025, Nintendo had 4 official stores around the world, 3 in Japan, Kyoto, Tokyo, Osaka, and 1 in New York. Now, San Francisco marks its 5th retail location, selling merch directly to fans, probably at exorbitant prices because tariffs, y'all. Anyway, Nintendo Store levels up in San Francisco, so you can go and check it all out. Whether you're a Nintendo superfan with an Isabelle patterned sweater vest or a tourist looking for a gamery souvenir for a relative, the San Francisco Nintendo Store looks like a perfect place to spend all your rupees and bells. Just watch out for the mischievous Pikmin along the way. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in Late Night Geeks. This is a show that is near and dear because that's actually one of the first shows that I had planned, but life keeps me working 9 to 5 kind of a thing, but I actually work all the way up until about 1 o'clock in the morning and then get up at 5 o'clock. But the reality is that Late Night Geeks really should start at 11 and end at 8. But it is what it is. A lawyer representing... so Anthropic's lawyer was forced to apologize after Claude hallucinated a legal citation. We keep hearing about this. A lawyer representing Anthropic admitted to using an erroneous citation created by the company's Claude AI chatbot in its ongoing legal battle with music publishers. According to a filing made in Northern California on Thursday, Claude hallucinated the citation with an inaccurate title and inaccurate authors, Anthropic says in the filing. Maxwell Zeff over at TechCrunch.com put the article together. Yeah, earlier this week, lawyers representing UMG and other music publisher accused Anthropic's expert witness, one of the company's employees, Olivia Chen, of using Claude to cite fake articles in her testimony. Federal Judge Susan Van Callen then ordered Anthropic to respond to these allegations. This is the latest instance of lawyers using AI in court and then regretting the decision. Earlier, bogus AI-generated research made its way into law firms for submission, and I don't know how a judge said that they almost made a finding off of the erroneous information. It was just that they happened to look at the citation. Unfortunately, they can't rely on the lie. So they went and looked. What's wrong here is that there's no way a judge doesn't know everything. They have to do due diligence, and it can take an exorbitant amount of time, which causes delay. The real problem here is that they tried to pull a fast one on the judge, I think, and lo and behold, they got busted for it. So anyway, however, these errors aren't stopping startups from raising enormous rounds to automate legal work. Harvey, which uses generative AI models to assist lawyers, is reportedly in talks to raise over $250 million at a $5 billion valuation. Yeah. Well, LexisNexis and Westlaw are probably going to dominate that because they've got a whole bunch of background things that they can silo within an AI-driven expert witness type of thing. Anyway, consider prices going up, folks. Anyway, the next article is over in Hatch Ideas, how this tech startup is fixing the $1.14 trillion live event industry's biggest problem. Ticketmaster? I don't know. IDBase is tackling ticket bots and scalping, giving real fans a fair chance to see their favorite artists and teams. This is edited by Jason Fell, but created by a company called Stack Commerce. This must be like a marketing thing, like a press release. Sorry, something's making my nose itch. Despite legislation in the US and EU making ticket bots illegal, enforcement has remained nearly impossible. The problem has become so severe that bipartisan initiatives, such as the Ticket Act, recently passed unanimously through the US House Committee, and even the president issued an executive order targeting ticket scalping. Everyone's trying to solve the problem by detecting bots. It's a losing battle. As tech gets more sophisticated, so do the bots. We flipped the problem on its head and said, what if instead of trying to identify bots, we just verify that someone is human instead? And by leveraging proven biometric identity verification technology, the same governments use, they built a team at IDBase or IDBase to create a platform that promises not only to eliminate ticket bots, but also to enhance security and improve the overall fan experience at live events. Called Authenticate, creates a seamless verification process that it says confirms a ticket buyer's identity through government ID scanning and biometric verification, either facial or voice recognition. So both of those can be faked, I think. And the ID scanning, so you have multiple accounts with the same ID. If you don't, then do you have really what it comes down to is you're eliminating the reseller market altogether, which is going to be fine. I think tickets should be for the people that want to go, not for some scammy scalper. So it's fine with me. I just don't like divulging my identity to somebody to such an intimate level. Just my credit card should suffice, but apparently you're going to be Gattaca this place pretty soon. Ticket for popular shows frequently resold for $300, $700 or 700% face value, with some cases seeing it 7,000% higher. And this is all about ticket pricing in general. Dr. Timothy K., IDBase's CTO and a highly regarded technologist who built a precursor to Apple's Siri. No, I'm not talking to you. Okay, I didn't listen. Explains that their technical approach, we're not storing actual biometric data, just secure templates that cannot be reverse engineered. Yeah, right. If it can be engineered, it can be reverse engineered. Our one-to-one matching process is significantly more secure and reliable than competitors who try to use biometrics as the ticket itself, which we believe is a very costly and risky approach. So their identity visualization networks like IDBase or IDBase, I don't know how they're going to pronounce that, represent the future of digital transactions, creating secure ecosystems where identity can be verified once and used across multiple platforms, according to a recent market report by Liminal. Yeah, there's more to this article, but essentially they're going to be using your verified ID Let's keep going. This next article is over in Four Wheel Tech. Genius arrested after attempting to flat tow a Saab backwards. I titled this one, What a Saab Story. If you ever need to tow a Saab 9.3 convertible, perhaps don't do it when these two bozos in Texas, or don't do what these two bozos in Texas did. So Andy Kolmowitz over at jalopnik.com put the article together. Police tell ABC 13 Houston that the car broke down, and since the driver and his girlfriend didn't have enough money to call a tow truck, they decided to tow it themselves using a chain. Even in the best case scenario, flat towing a car isn't an easy task, and that's when it's facing the correct direction. Unfortunately for them, no one mentioned that. Apparently at some point the Saab's axle broke, and that's what led to the video that you see on YouTube. Oh, they ground this car down to the nubs, and an axle broke. So yeah, they're really screwed. Police say the Saab's driver, a 32-year-old, was arrested for an active warrant he had out in Georgia, but he wasn't given a citation for the case. Let this be a lesson to you. Don't commit a crime while committing a crime. Brown's girlfriend, who was driving the SUV, wasn't arrested. Somehow, no injuries were reported. There's more. You can watch the video over at Jalopnik, and thank you, Andy Kolmowitz. Let's go. The next article is in Stock Marketeers. Coinbase says cyber attack costs up to $400 million after bribed overseas employees stole customer data. Coinbase said customer passwords and private keys were protected by its systems, and at no time were any of the targeted contractors or employees able to access customer funds. But it says here, Coinbase says cyber attack cost up to $400 million after bribed overseas employees stole customer data. So where's that valuation coming from? Steve Gelsey put this article together over at marketwatch.com. Let's see. The breach also included government ID images such as passports and driver's license, account data such as balance snapshots and transaction history, and limited Coinbase corporate data such as documents, training materials, and corporate communications to support agents. So I'm really worried about the government ID images such as passports and driver's license, because God, that's why I don't like other people having any information. So the threat actor appears to have obtained this information by paying multiple contractors or employees working in support roles outside of the United States to collect information from internal Coinbase systems to which they had access in order to perform their job's responsibilities. In a blog post about the incident, the cryptocurrency trading company said that it's setting up a $20 million reward fund for information that leads to the arrest of the criminals who demanded the $20 million sum in their ransom. The estimated expenses of this, $180 million to $400 million. So they use the higher number on there. I guess that's flashier. For remediation costs and voluntary customer reimbursements related to the problem. So some money was actually taken, I guess, and said the dollar figure could change as it assesses the impact. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Late Night Geeks. I'm churning through this stuff really fast. Apple finally launches next-gen Carplay Ultra software, starting with the Aston Martin. So no, us poors can't afford it. So Apple's next-generation version of its popular Carplay infotainment software is finally launching 3 years after it was first announced. The company said Thursday that this new version of Carplay, known as Carplay Ultra, will start rolling out on the new Aston Martin vehicles in the US and Canada, roughly half a year late. So the article is over at TechCrunch.com, written by Sean O'Kane, and it says, while still powered wirelessly by an iPhone, Carplay Ultra takes over both the main infotainment screen as well as the digital dashboard in front of the driver and is more deeply integrated with the vehicle systems. And that means that the new Carplay software will display things like the vehicle's speed, fuel mileage, trip info, water temperature, other things apparently. Carplay Ultra will also be able to control certain vehicle settings provided drivers have an iPhone 12 or later running at least iOS 18.5. Meanwhile, certain functions like backup cameras are still able to quote-unquote punch through the Carplay UI. Since 2015, all US cars have had to have a backup camera. Apple has implied that the slow rollout of Carplay Ultra was in part related to the work required to make the software fit the unique brand and visual design philosophies of its partner automakers. So I'm hoping that it'll be in Minis. The new Mini electric looks pretty good, but I have now found the EREV series hybrids that have 600 plus mile range that uses a combination of ICE generator charging batteries that power electric motors. So I think that's where the future is. And couple that with easy to fast swap out batteries, and you've basically got the market cornered for an industry that really is rife with better innovation than the stupid sleds that have batteries that are going to die within 10 years, and then you're stuck. A very expensive update. Anyway, let's keep going. We've got 2 more articles. The next article is over in Technology Today. Always tired. A mini stroke you didn't notice could be why. This next article is over in SciTech Daily. American Academy of Neurology put the article together. And it says here, a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, often called a mini stroke, is typically seen as a brief blockage of blood flow to the brain. The symptoms, like slurred speech or arm weakness, usually disappear within a day, but new research suggests that the impact may last far longer than expected. People with a transient ischemic attack can have symptoms such as face drooping, arm weakness, slurred speech. These resolve within a day. You may think everything's okay. However, some have reported continued challenges, including reduced quality of life, thinking problems, depression, anxiety, fatigue. Our study found that for some people, fatigue is a common problem that lasts for a year after the transient ischemic attack. So they say 5 phases of fatigue. Brain scans don't explain it, and why ongoing monitoring matters. And that's really what you have to do, is you have to monitor the people that have this little issue that could be just an overnight thing. But then there's long-term quality of life issues that stem from it. So go over to SciTech Daily and read the rest of this if you are interested in this kind of thing. Because researchers followed 354 individuals with an average age of 70 who had experienced this mini stroke, and each participant was tracked for a full year to monitor their recovery. And they say that basically participants had an average score of 12.3 at the start of the study. At 3 months, the average score decreased slightly to 11.9, with a range of 4 to 20. And at 6 months, it slowly decreased to 11.1 over 12 months. And it was basically a composite score of 5 different elements: fatigue, overall tiredness, physical tiredness, reduced activity, reduced motivation, and mental fatigue. So if you are seemingly getting tired more often, then it could have been an ischemic attack that you thought was nothing. So hopefully you document it in some way and you can remember it and come back, talk to your doctor. If you ever have anything like that, where you get numb in one arm or your face droops or whatever, immediately go to the emergency department. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Waymo recalled software for more than 1,200 robotaxis after several cars were involved in collisions with barriers, because those free range barriers jump out and get you. So Waymo uses LiDAR and other sensors, but Lloyd Lee over at Business Insider put this article together, and Waymo has these bulky sensors that are bolted onto their vehicles, including the top. And while they're better for some things, visual sensors are better for other things. And still other sensors are better for other things. But if you put it all together, then you have a perfect vehicle, except that it's big, it's bulky, it's complex, it's expensive, and still something will fail. But a spokesperson for NHTSA told Business Insider in an email that the agency opened an inquiry into Waymo's 5th generation driver last year after receiving 22 incident reports, some of which included collisions with stationary and semi-stationary roadway barriers. Again, Lloyd Lee over at Business Insider put this article together. A software update was fully rolled out for Waymo's entire fleet by December 2024. It does not impact Waymo's current operations, a Waymo spokesperson told Business Insider in an email. And they provide 250,000 paid trips every week in some of the most challenging driving environments. And they hold themselves to a high standard of safety. So NHTSA plays a vital role in road safety and will continue to work with collaboratively with the agency. So pretty cool. I think that is really funny that was a parking lot. I don't know if they've remedied that, but there was a parking lot where people kind of just went crazy because these vehicles were beeping at each other because they couldn't park, and one was an obstacle for another, and it just caused a chain reaction of honking and backing up and moving forward and honking, and yeah, it was pretty funny. But anyway, I am going to Robotaxi my way back to the front page of ohmtown.com and get out of here. I've got mayoral duties starting in 20 minutes ago. So I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.